الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي نور القلوب المؤمنين بأنوار التوحيد والإيمان وشرف صدور العارفين بضياء التصديق والإرفان. فسبحان الذي شرف أيام ذي الهجة بالتروية وعرفات وضحى والقربان. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولا وزيره ولا مثيل له شهادة موصلة إلى دار الجحيم. ونشهد أن سيدنا شهادة كشهادة السائمين في هذه يوم والإحسان. استغفر الله. ونشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده وحبيبه ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى رحمة للعالمين شهادة كشهادة المرسلين على رسول الله الملك المنان صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذرياته الكرام وأتباعه وخلفائه الراشدين المرشدين المهديين من بعدهم ووزرائه الكاملين في أهله خصوصا منهم الأئمة خلفاء رسول الله على التحقيق أمرائه المؤمنين حضرة أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي ذوي القدر الجليل وبقية الصحابة والتابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون اتقوا الله تعالى وأطيعون إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب منزل على نبي المرسل وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو قوة متين. صدق الله تعالى ربنا الكريم. أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Jumuah Mubarak to everyone. Shaykh Abdul Haqq on the lesson he wrote for this week because Yom Arafat is Thursday next, so when we come to the next Jumuah already it's Eid. So he says for Yom Arafat, إِلَمُوا أَنَّ يَوْمَ عَشْرِ ذِي الْحِجَّةِ أَفْضَلَ يَوْمٍ وَأَزْمَانٍ. And these are the most exalted days in time, the first 10 days of the Hijrah. وَيُفْتَحُ فِيهَا بَابُ الْكَعْبَةِ لِلْمَغْفِرَةِ وَالْغُفْرَانِ. Allah has opened the door of the Kaaba with mercy and forgiveness. ويفتح فيها باب الكعبة واليوم وقوفي في العرفات بين يد الملك المنان. And standing on Arafat is to be standing between the hands of the Lord Almighty. Bi'adillah. وينادي الحجاج بتلبية فيها, and they're making the zikr of Hajj there. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. Alhamdulillah. Give us power to do what needs to be done. These are the heavy days of the year. The 10 days of the Hijrah is the culmination of the khalwat, seclusion, the suruk, the journeying from dunya to Mawla, from dunya to Lord. As Hajis, they leave their families and love people. Even now it's a difficult journey. In old days it was very difficult. It might take months or years to go by on foot or on camel or on horse or donkey or caravan. It was a big journey to the physical Baitul Rab, Kaaba Sharif, house of the Lord. But as we were saying before, there is a hadith, Qalbul Mu'min Baitul Rab. There is a house of the Lord inside each one of us, through our hearts. And we have to try to complete that Hajj, if we can do it. If we can do it, Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Sta'idya, In kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni yuhibbukum. Allah made that ayat to be in Prophet's words. Prophet is speaking that ayat and saying, if you want to be loved by Allah, if you will be loved by Allah, follow me. Allah will love you. And Prophet ﷺ, he was doing everything that he taught us, from physical means to observe the Sharia of Islam and his holy Sunnah. So many things we can do, prayings and fastings and wudu and Qurban and Zakat and Hajj and Umrah, everything. He showed us how to do that, but he said, follow me. He didn't limit it. He said, follow me, so everything. And Prophet ﷺ, he didn't stop only with dunya matters. He was ascending. He was going to his Lord. He was traveling on Laylatul Isra and Miraj through 7 heavens, through 7 hells, going with Jibreel everywhere, looking into everything that Allah created, until they came to the Sidratul Muntaha, the farthest point. Some ulama and awliya said, it's the last point you can understand that I am. The mind can't, what's beyond that, the mind can't carry it. You can't carry it, your existence is past it. And Prophet said to Jibreel, alayhi salam, "O Jibreel, what's beyond this point? This is the log tree, this is the farthest log tree. This is it." And Jibreel said, Ya Rasul, Allah and His Prophet know best, but I never came even this far before. If I go more than this, I'll burn up and I can't come back in existence again. I can't go far. The Prophet was called that night, and he went on into the unknown, into, say, to a point that has no limit, or adna, or nearer, or nearer. There is a saying from physics, and Imam Suwar already said it also. If you have something in existence, the smallest thing in those days, they called it an atom. Now they know smaller particles, but he called it an atom. He said, even if it's part of a bigger structure, now it's smaller things. The smallest thing you can have in existence. Everything else you can divide it and divide it and divide it and divide it, so you come to the part that can't be divided anymore. And that piece can't have a place. It can't have a place. If you try to divide it, two pieces are sitting in a place. You have the two pieces and the space between them, and there's a place. So Prophet ﷺ, he went past the point where you can understand anything about it. There's no place for it. Or adna, or nearer. You can keep dividing, keep dividing, keep dividing. You can't pin it down, you can't grasp it. And he's saying, Atabiuni. Till he reached to a point, no, let's say, Sifini, describe me. Sifini, describe me. You heard a voice saying, Kahar. Prophet answered, Kahar. Kahar, overpowering everything. Only his divine attributes is showing there. They say Prophet Sallallahu, he didn't stop with that one ascension. His Miraj was, Isra and Miraj was continuous. Going Awadna, nearer, returning, teaching people, giving to his ummah, returning. Allah didn't call Prophet and then send him away. It's his beloved. Prophet is always through that endlessly changing divine presence. Allah doesn't change, but the manifestations change. And he said, but Habiyuni is the point we're trying to get to. This is the days of Dhul Hijrah and Arafat. And this year, mostly there's no Hajj. Maybe some people living in Mecca can do something, but from outside they're not letting people. So we have to look at the inner Hajj to try and follow our Prophet. Qalbun Mu'min Baytul Rabb. There is a kind of Kaaba, house of the Lord, through our hearts. And we can't say more than that, or people are going to say, what's that? So many big figures, they were keeping quiet, because if they said what they want to say, what they experience, no one will accept it. People understand, like going to Sidratul Muntaha, this is the limit of my mind, what's beyond this, I can't accept it, doesn't exist. But no, there's beyond that. These are the days for increasing your zikr. If you're able to fast, at least to fast the day of Arafat, to increase your zikr, Quran, al-khairat, salawat, raqabah, good deeds. Increase your good deeds. Good deeds are given much more weight during these 10 days. Whatever you can do, trying to reach to that moment on Yawm al-Arafat, to be standing between the hands of Allah. You can't say what the hands of Allah is. Allah knows what it means. Say, Labbaik, oh my Lord. Bless me with your divine lights. Make me to follow my Prophet ﷺ, that he went through every barrier, through every world, in Mulk and Malakut, to reach to your We can't be like Prophet, but everyone has their own level they can reach to. But we're not trying to reach it. Until The veil of this life is torn from us when we pass away. We didn't. That time we wake up. Prophet said everyone is sleeping. When they die, they wake up. They finish the janazah and the people leave, and in the grave the person wakes up. They say, Ya khulu ya laytani kadamtu li hayati. How I wasted my life. When they remember the real situation, I didn't give any time for the important thing. I didn't try to reach the reality that you created me. Oh my Lord, you made me to be your Khalif, your Khalifatullah. And you said, Kalbu mu'min baytu Rabb. I never tried to find you 1 minute even. Only I was busy with something else. Everyone is afraid now from virus. There is a saying, perhaps it's a hadith. If a person doesn't fear Allah, by fear Allah I mean try to be moving always towards Allah. If you forget, astaghfirullah and continue. Say the Abu Qadr Gilani, Allah bless him, say push on with your foot, little more. You might be almost reached. If a person doesn't fear Allah, Allah will make him fear something else. It's a natural law. There's a saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Power abhors a vacuum. If you take away one power, another power comes to catch you. We're asking to correct our steps. To be on the right way, not to be blamed. Biggest blame is going to come from ourselves. If a person passes away and realizes how he or she wasted their life, the Shaykh used to say, if you threw that person into hellfire at that moment, they won't feel it because they're regretting so much how they wasted their life, they won't feel any other punishment. So strong we punish ourselves with that. Asking not to fall into that situation. Use your time, Prophet said, before you're tied. Saqo isaq, before the dead body is tied in the grave. Use your time. He said, don't pray for death ever. 1 day of life is better than 1,000 years in the grave. Use your life, use your time to try to come closer to Allah, to come closer to prophets and awliya, to try to reach that vital Rabb through our hearts, to make that suluk, that journey through our hearts. Give time, give time. So many means, so many ways. Give time, try to be with Allah. Try to be with Allah. Shaykh Nazim, famously, he took the beads out of my hands, shook in my face. It's not important to say Allah, Allah, Allah. Important to be with Allah. Try to be with Him. Try to be with Him. May Allah forgive us. Grant us the blessings of these 10 days and Yom al-Jumu'ah. Inshallah we reach happily to Yom al-Arafah and Eid al-Adha to be a celebration for us. May Allah make us to pass through these 10 days successfully, to make some progress towards our real goal, our real target, aim, the real target of our life. Allah asana kalam wa balag al-nizam. كلام الله مالك العزيز على كما قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن. الحمد لله حمدا كاملين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى وصحبه أجمعين. تعظيما للنبي وتقريبا لفخامة شان شيخه. وقال عز وجل من قائل مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. محمد وعالم المناسك الحاج والقربان مفخر العرب والعجم مولانا والمولى العالمين مختار من سيدنا أبي القاسم محمد يا أيها المشتاقون لنور الجمال متاجون الشفاعة صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وبارك اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين وتوب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم إنك على كل شيء قدير وإجابة جدير اللهم اهدنا من فضلك فيما هديت وعافنا فيما عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ويقضى عليك وإنه لا يذل من وليت ولا يعز من هديت تبارك ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما قضيت استغفرك ونتوب إليك صلى الله على النبي الأمي وعلى وصحبه وسلم اللهم اشف لنا من العذاب وبلاء ما لا يكشفه غيره اللهم اسقنا الغيث السوء رحمة ولا تجعلنا من القانتين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين اللهم افتح لنا فاتحا قريبا وأنت خير الفاتحين وكنت دابر القوم الذين ظلموا الحمد لله رب العالمين رب اجعلنا من لدنك وليا وجعلنا من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا وكان حقا علينا نصر المؤمنين اللهم افتح لنا أبواب السداد أيدي مهد إن الله لطيف بالعباد يا غارة الله يا غارة الله يا غارة الله أدركني يا غارة الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر